Hello, it's Alex. 4chan, never heard of it, but apparently Games Workshop has got leaks on it. The internet's fun about leaks. Let's discuss and ruminate. As usual, this is all rumours, so do not take it as literal evidence. I know nothing, so don't take my opinion as fact. I'd love to hear your opinion in the comments. You can disagree with me, it's all good. It's the internet, it's what we do. Let's get talking. So, as you see on screen, it's all very small writing. I'm literally just going to take what interests me the most. I'm not going to read it all to you because the internet's full of these pictures. So firstly, the Beasts of Chaos being moved to the old world. That's been guaranteed because it's already been announced by GW that 2025 will be the end of Beasts of Chaos in Age of Sigmar, which is a complete bummer. And reading that Kragnos was going to be the centerpiece and that they were going to revamp Beasts of Chaos is a big bummer, because when you get the likes of the Cruel Boys, which is another green skin faction for destruction, while you had the likes of Iron Jaws, the Goblins, Bone Splitters, it does make you go, really, we got rid of Beasts of Chaos for another green skin faction. I have no personal issue with green skin. I'm making it sound like a race issue. It's really not. They're made up little plastic men. But I kind of see why Beasts of Chaos are going to the old world, because they're such an established faction for the old world. GW using the whole nostalgia old miniatures to push the old world. It makes sense for them. I'm also a bit sad about that because seeing new Beasts of Chaos would have been amazing. But it is what it is. Like, at least they're going somewhere. They're not completely getting binned. You read the whole thing about real life politics, about Kislev being put on the waiting for real world conflicts to simmer down before they get released. I kind of get that business approach, but also, war sucks, doesn't it? So yeah, kind of understandable approach by GW, but also, you could have just gone balls to the walls and gone screw it, maybe change them up a bit, not to make them as associated with the likes of Russia, but we ain't going to go into the whole they said, who versus who, blah, blah, blah. I just think, unfortunately, with the likes of the old world, it takes a lot of inspiration from real life, fantasy, and the real world, so there's always going to be that kind of crossover, but it is what it is. Warcry getting a revamp for 3rd edition, a more Mordheim, Necromunda, Middle-earth kind of style rules is interesting. I like the sound of that. They're moving away from the 8 points cult, so not being in that kind of chaos, but it's more just a general, anyone in AOS faction can play this and blah blah blah. Makes sense. It makes you sell the rest of the range. Then saying about the old world underperforming, I find quite interesting. I thought it was doing quite well from everything I saw on the internet. I think because it had such a weird release, like there's a lot of people wanting stuff, but it was out of stock or there wasn't a lot on the shelves. I personally think there may be an old world 2nd edition in 5 years time, because of the interest what people have in the old world and GW trying to get that market covered again. I would personally be more interested in the old world if it was all brand new miniatures, but that's just me because I never partook in Warhammer Fantasy, so I'm not really part of that crowd who had loads of armies and that kind of history with the whole thing, which I kind of understand. Apparently Neferata getting a new model in the future for AOS is pretty cool. You should read some of her books in AOS. I know the meme of AOS lore being awful, but some of it is good, especially the Nagash and Neferata books are really cool. It's a cool character, so that's really interesting to see vampire counts getting their kind of identity in the old world, and then Soulblight Gravelords kind of moving away from that to be a bit more distinctively different for Age of Sigmar. Once again, I kind of get GW doing the whole 2 separate game systems, separate miniatures, but I can already picture lots of people using Age of Sigmar miniatures for the old world, and it kind of goes with 40k and Heresy. I love some of the kind of Land Raider heavy weapon vehicle kits. It's just a shame you can't use them in 40k, because it would probably make you collect a 40k army and a Heresy army, The same with it'd make you do Age of Sigmar and the Old World. You could argue and say you'd have one army for both games, but I think you would have a bit of everything and you'd be more willing to spend money and build big armies to kind of cater to both game systems. But that's just my opinion. So that's literally the first leak. So apparently Warhammer Underworlds is ending. Basically, the whole competitive casual tournament product isn't going well. The cost of board and cards isn't really going the same way as other things. It's very surprising due to GW having a Wizard of the Coast employee being like a consultant, I believe. Do not reference me on that, but I remember they hired some dude from Wizard of the Coasts. Magic of the Gathering shenanigans, you kind of get it. For me with Warhammer Underworlds, I always felt like it was onto something, but also it was off the pulse. I kind of like the idea of cards, but once again, if you have too many cards, and it just becomes a chore making decks. I think they could have gone on something ironically like Magic the Gathering if they did like limited cards in packs where you could get certain patterns, foils, shinies, limited ones, but so few of them that the actual cards holds the value and not the miniatures. Maybe something, instead of having certain war bands, you could use different miniatures from the AOS range and you bought the cards and then it was more of a card game alongside miniatures, what you buy already, and I don't know, you use the hexagon grid. I'm not a game designer, so my opinion is probably utter garbage. And you can disregard everything I just said, or you could back me with lots of money and I will happily make a shiny card miniature game for you. I just need a small loan of, I don't know, $2 million or something. But that's my take on Underworlds. Kind of sad to hear it go, but like a lot of products, leading on to Legionaries, Legionaris Imperialis, RIP. They're not happy with how it's performing. People are expecting Epic 40k. Maybe Games Workshop should have done Epic 40k and it would probably do well, but you know them, they just do what they kind of want to do because they live in an ivory tower and they won't listen to plebs like us, and they don't have to. And then it mentions it will end like Aeronautica. Once again, Aeronautica, if you know me by now, I've mentioned it on this channel a lot. I've done some battle reports, I enjoy it. I luckily bought up some stuff before it ended. It never got all the factions released, so once again, it felt like a half-released game, and the support was kind of half there. Games Workshop with their box specialist games like Underworld, Imperialis, Aeronautica, they're so weird because like they're like really excited for them at the beginning. There's like loads of hype and support, and then slowly the support runs out and it just dies. But maybe that's just the cycle of GW, constant release, that they use that same approach for these box games. But I'd be happy if they go, this is the one box for the year, the one expansion. We'll do like some releases, like a roadmap. If you at least knew where it was going, you would kind of support it and look after it and kind of give it more on the community to look after. I don't think if you're not releasing something constantly for a game, but you show it some form of support, like a yearly, I don't know, softback book, which is worth £10-15 with raw updates, people will play it. Going on to the whole Middle-earth, surprisingly having the uptick in sales. It's a solid game. It's got that entire lore, story, fandom, the miniatures. I think if GW said tomorrow they're not going to support it anymore, you have that rich background of miniatures and 3D printing, people would still play the heck out of it. So that's my kind of opinion on all of this. I'm not really going to go much more into these takes of rumours, but it just says that Heresy Necromunda's doing well. It's like a game has to do very well for GW to really support it. But every week it feels like Necromunda's getting a cool new miniature, or at least one new miniature announced a month, which is working great for it. But once again, I feel like it's the community what carries Necromunda and not GW. But that's a completely different topic. So we're going to move on now to the next leaks and rumours. So next, a bit of 40k news. Apparently, Death Guard, Adeptus Mechanicus, Genestealer Cult and Astartes are losing a few units. I kind of get that with Mechanicus. I feel like they have loads of units. Death Guard, I'm kind of trying to think what they're going to cut. I feel like that range is kind of full, but not much to really get rid of. Genestealer Cult, kind of the same. I trying to think what they're going to get rid of. And I kind of get Space Marines. Like, Space Marines has so much. Like, I mean, loads. But then what are you going to get rid of? The Firstborn? It's going to be a touchy subject. Apparently Harlequins are completely gone. Grey Knights are becoming a universal ally option for the Imperium forces. So no more Grey Knight Codex. But once again, when you have the likes of the Custodes getting their own codex, I find it weird. The whole rumours of Agents of the Imperium Codex coming out in the summer, as it says here, no, autumn. I would see the likes of Grey Knights, Custodes, Inquisitors, and Arabates, and all that. That I think would be fine in Imperium Agents Codex. But it's weird they're getting rid of Grey Knights, but they're going to give Custodes their own codex. That is a weird one. But it's interesting to see, apparently they're going to go for like Ever Chosen, Eye of Terror, mini Battle Tomes codexes for narrative, smaller size games. I think that could be quite popular with older fans of older editions, especially if it's like full of juicy lore stories, narrative influence games. That could be really popular. Now, going on to the Wizard of the Coastification of GW, like I said earlier on, apparently shareholders want smaller, faster games, easier entry, so the Combat Patrol, Spear Tips. But I think what they're going to do wrong, so them expecting people to have more armies at 2,000 points and less people playing the same faction at 30,000 points. People who play the one army still buy miniatures for that army. They just love having huge collection, story, narrative background behind that. I think trying to make this Commander style Wizard of the Coast approach could really actually sting GW in the wrong way. But that's just my opinion. I'm the type of guy who likes a bit of everything, maybe 1,000, 2,000 points. So you'd think that type of playstyle would appeal to me. But also, I get it, but I don't get it. I think there should be room for people who just want the one army with loads of points. And then there should be room for people who like a bit of everything at 2,000 points. But we'll see what time does. You never know. The world could blow up next week, so this video would be very irrelevant if that happens. Apparently, the alternative hobby products are making the likes of the Citadel Paint Rage reducing, as well as some of the spray paints. It's going to happen. A lot more people are now more knowledgeable, even at the entry points, due to idiots like me and better people idiots, unlike me on the internet, making videos on YouTube, blogs, posts. Back in the day, it was always, if I'm going to paint Warhammer, I need a Warhammer paint. But literally looking at my desk, I have Citadel paints, I have some Vallejo, I have some Army Painter, I have some Too Thin Coat paints. Like, there's so much out there and there is choice for everyone. So I think GW will always keep some of the paints and the contrast to be that entry point. But I think they're being very aware now that the market is so overfluctuated with new talent and old talent. Like, they do not have that kind of grip on that aspect of the market anymore. Like I said, I could be totally wrong. My opinions are just an opinion from an opinionated idiot, so you can disagree with me. It's all good. We're going to go on now to the last leak rumor on the 4chan. So this last one, bonus gossip, it's just a bit more laid back, not as serious. So apparently Chaos Dwarfs aren't happening. Bit anti-Semitic. GW don't want to touch that. They don't want to be known as the naughty throwback Germany Boogaloo company. But not in an original sense. I think they could do it. They'll just spice it up, change it a bit. Like, don't fall for it. I don't know. I said the Old World, I don't know a lot about. But here's some more Old World news. Tomb Kings sold a lot of models, but very few Bretonnians, which I find very interesting. Tomb Kings are pretty friggin' sick, to be honest. If they did an entire new range of Tomb Kings, I would have bought that set. I bought one Tomb King resin miniature, brand new one. I still need to paint to do a video. But yeah, it's quite interesting about the Bretonnians not selling as much as the Tomb Kings. Apparently, some of the people aren't happy with, like, you know, ex-employees like Peachy Tips, Rogue Hobbies, giving away industry secrets. There we go. But you're always going to get people like that on social media, you know, just being like, oh, this is what we used to do. Apparently, they're not happy about people demanding artists get credit. I would say people should get credit on paint jobs. They should get credit on writing the codexes. They should get credit on doing the illustrations. Like, can you imagine if Black Library released novels without the writer's name? That'd just be crazy. So I don't see why you can't just put like a little painted at blah blah blah. Maybe it's because they're worried that these people then go off and become internet personalities like previous people like Duncan and so forth. But guess what? Maybe pay your staff a lot and give good benefits, and maybe they'll stay. I don't know the inside of GW. Maybe they pay their staff well, maybe they don't. Lol, I do not know. I don't know why I inserted a lol there. I'm like 30 years old and it's really outdated, but here we are. And then going on, apparently leaks and screenshots, a lot of it is not leaks, it's actually intended PR. So confirmed that Chapter Master Valrak works for Games Workshop because, well, yeah, he's Scamrek. No, he's a good laugh, really. What a meme. Anyway, but yeah, it does really work. Like, there has been multiple times where some of these leaks, you're scratching your head and you go in, this cannot be happening constantly. It has to be intended. White Dwarf, apparently doing utter garbage. It's they're just holding up for the 500 issue and then maybe it'll get cancelled or canned. I kind of like the idea when they were doing like a weekly thing, but I missed all of that. I don't know, like, I think of Kerrang magazine, they somehow put out a monthly issue, I believe, but they used to be like weekly for like $1.49. Like, oh, those are the old days. Emo phase much. But I don't know, White Dwarf's a weird one. Like, does it need to become a part of Warhammer Plus? Does it still need to be a physical format? Does it just need to be an online article publication? I don't know. And then at the end, it's talking about some weird Slaaneshi stuff and telling people called Greg to stop it. So yeah, that is apparently the 4chan leaks. I have tried to interpret these leaks and kind of give a informed, not idiotic response, but maybe I have, and if I have, sorry, but if you're still here, thank you. I greatly appreciate it. Before I go away, it's the usual stuff. Share, check out the video, check out other videos, like, comment, subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. I'd really like your people's opinions on this video. Like I said in the beginning, you could completely disagree with me and think I'm wrong, and that's totally fine. Like, I am fine with people not agreeing with me. It's the internet. But I would at least like to hear your thoughts and what you think, because at least then I can learn from your perspective. It's great, you know, when people communicate. It's awesome. As well, thank you to people on screen. My Patreon is actually free. Like, literally my blog posts are free to view. It's only some of the extra videos and things which I put a paywall behind, but you can literally be a free member and follow. As well, the Discord, we're doing a paint competition this month. You actually can win a voucher. We're painting DC or Marvel minis. You should check it out. Yes, I know I'm bribing you with gift vouchers now to check out my other social media platforms. But that is enough leaks. This has gone on long enough. We're near 20 minutes in. I'm Alex. Thank you for tolerating me. I enjoy talking into a microphone and being a bit of a idiot. So, as usual, take care and all the best. Goodbye.